I've had at listing presentations. So, how many of you realtors out there, realtor boss babes, have walked into a listing presentation and you feel so confident? You have your presentation ready to go. It looks great. The house looks amazing from the pictures you saw, from the email that they said, from the conversation that you had with them before the listing presentation. And then you get there and whoa, it's not all that amazing. And you have to try to get yourself together and encourage this seller to list with you and to use you instead of all the other options, I guess you could say, out there. So let's talk about some awkward conversations I've had at listing presentations. One, the area that I served and worked in South Pasadena, California, um, is mostly million to multi-million dollar houses, but a lot of them are old. There's not very much new construction at that time. And so walking into properties, one of the hardest things I feel like is to address the pet smells, um, or the pets themselves, or just I don't know if it's the humidity or what it is, but there always seemed to be a scent. And a lot of the houses there were old money. I remember one time asking my broker, like, who lives in all these huge houses? Like what is the demographic? And he shared with me a lot of that demographic is old money. It's people who have lived there, who have passed down their house to generation. And with that comes years and years of clutter, of pet urine. A lot of times when the seller is older in age, they kind of lose their smell and they don't smell it. So that's one of the most awkward conversations when it comes to a listing presentation is going to the property to walk the property so that you can get the comps um, accurately. And so, walking into properties where the sweetest, kindest, most loving older person who has little Fluffy running around, who's also quite old and whose bladder is quite weak. So, that's a really hard conversation to have. Um, Years and years and years of photo walls. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm in the staging industry, guys, and I love me a good photo wall, which I have one right here. However, taking down that personal art, depersonalizing your property. One of my clients, Tony from Show and Sell Home Staging in Little Rock, Arkansas, she said it best is when you go into a listing presentation and you have to convince your sellers to divorce their home that they raised their babies in, that they spent 30 years being, husband and wife in before they lost their spouse. Like, it's just a hard conversation. Nobody wants to go it alone. It doesn't matter how confident you are, what your stats are when you get into that listing presentation. You are not just selling what your stats are or what your brokerage can do or what you as an agent can do. You're actually selling a relationship. Your job at that listing presentation is to make them feel as comfortable and confident with you as possible. So, my recommendation, partner with a home stager. Get you a home stager to go in, have the hard conversation, make you the hero in the situation, and get the contract at the listing presentation signed. Get it done with your partner in crime, your golden child, which is a home stager. So I would love to know, what are some really hard conversations you have had to have, whether you're a realtor or a home stager, at listing presentations or with sellers? And how did you overcome them? We'd love to know.